Hello world, I'm back and I have a new and improved studio with my wall of fame behind me and I'm very excited to debut it on this episode. Oh yes. But just in case y'all forgot, I go by the name of Joffey Joe and this is the show. Call it how I see it. And on today's episode, I got a couple of things I want to talk to y'all about. First and foremost, we are at the point where the NBA season is ready to conclude, as the final two teams have finally made it to the finals, as the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks are ready to square off tonight. And I have my two good friends, Jan Carlo and Glenn Pratt, in the house to talk about the NBA Finals with me. Oh yeah. Secondly, about to square back up with Carlitos as we talk about Deontay Wilder and the Big Bang Zhang fight, as well as Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and the postponement of their fight. Oh yeah. And thirdly, I have something brand new I wanted to talk to y'all about. That thing that is brand new that I'm about to talk to y'all about with my good friend Jan Carlo as he does double duty this week is UFC 302. Oh yeah. Action-packed card, a lot of bangers, and we are here to talk about it. So stay tuned. You do not want to miss out on today's episode. Gentlemen, welcome back. I'm glad to have y'all back on. I got Glenn Pratt in the house, and I got Jan Carlo Esco back in the house. What's up, guys?
What's good?
It's good. So, I brought y'all back because we got, the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals. They blew past. So now, we're here. We're at the NBA Finals now. And, for the most part, I think we all expected, for the most part, the Celtics to be here. But we have a surprise, and the team that we didn't expect to kind of be here is here, and that is the Dallas Mavericks. So, given all that, coming into this whole situation here, the NBA and most bettors out there, we all think that the Celtics are going to win the series. At least I think that. Other people can think different. But, Vegas and everybody involved have the Celtics, for the most part, at minus 225 and the Mavericks at plus 180. So, it's, most of the money's going on the Boston side. But, given everything that's going on, a lot of stories involved here. We got some revenge aura going on with Kyrie and Porzingis on the other side. So, it's an intriguing matchup, to say the least. So, I want to start with you, G. What do you think about What do you expect to see from this NBA Finals?
I expect to see two teams offensively. They have no limits on offense. You look at Kyrie and Luka with all the role players doing their thing. Boston's as deep as it gets with a tandem of Tatum and Brown, which to me is, I don't know why they keep banging on Tatum. It seems like they're looking for excuses to not want to give him his love, but I'm hoping that he proves them wrong. I'm rooting for Boston. I'm hoping Boston gets. I'm rooting for Tatum more than anything. I've always been a Tatum guy since Duke.
Yeah.
And hoping that he's able to. But they're giving Luka so much shine now, so I don't know what Tatum can do. I think the tandem of him and Brown, and now you're adding Porzingis into the mix. I really like Boston. I really like Boston myself. Not easily, but I don't think it's going to be as. It's like the Minnesota thing. When Minnesota came into that Dallas series, everybody was giving Minnesota all that shine. You see what happened? I'm thinking you can see the same thing happen with Boston against Dallas.
Yeah.
I think Boston, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a lot of praise and, a lot of light being shed on Boston in this series, especially with the path that they had getting into this. They've had a lot of time to rest and get ready and prepare themselves for this series with, the Dallas Mavericks or whoever they were, waiting to match up with, which ended up being the Mavericks. But, given everything going on, what do you think, JC? What do you think about the Mavs and everything involved in this series, even the Celtics?
The Mavs have been making me eat my words the entire playoffs. I have nothing to say bad about it. I can't. I think they've had a little bit of a harder road to get there than Boston has.
I agree.
I think they're a little more battle tested right now, and there's a lot of X factors. I think the role players in Dallas know their role.
Yeah.
The one knock I have against Boston is who's the alpha there. That is to be determined.
Right.
And my other question mark is Porzingis has been out since April 29th. What kind of rust is he going to show? Because you're not going to be able to get away with playing Al Horford for more than 20 minutes a game like you have been. You're asking a lot out of the guy. He's been in the league for 17 years.
I agree. Al's got a lot of miles on him, but he still seems to deliver. He seems to still, be in the right spot, hit the shot, or even post up and guard the big man on the other side of the floor. So it's going to be really interesting in terms of that type of matchup. I think one intriguing matchup is Gafford in this situation. Gafford, even, Gafford in that last series, he really he was really that down low presence, and like given what we saw with Jokic struggle with the three bigs from Minnesota, Gafford made it look like it was easy work. It was just like he was right under the rim, or he was on a fast break and really just was able to put the ball in where it needed to go. But like him coming onto this team has been such a huge pickup for them, and even PJ Washington as well, like hitting shots and guarding the perimeter the way he's been doing it. It's really intriguing. I think, just my opinion, I think that this series will go 6. I give it to Boston just because I think Boston, because of their starting 5, if they eat up the minutes that they're supposed to, even like given the Porzingis effect here, or like interchanging him with Al Horford, I think, their 5 is just better. And back to what you were saying about Dallas and their bench. One bench player I want to know what happened to is what the hell happened to Tim Hardaway Jr., bro? Like I'm really baffled by this. Like he's been Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, exactly. Who?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like he fell off, bro. He fell off the face of the earth. He hasn't really done. I looked up his stats. He only played 2 games in the Minnesota series. He played the first game and the second game, and only played 15 minutes combined in those two games. And now, even if you go back to the Thunder series, he wasn't big. He wasn't a factor. He was only a factor in game 1 where he put up 17 points, and that was on May the 9th. Now we're here on June the 5th right now, and it's almost been like a month since we've seen him do anything or contribute to that team. It's crazy how, playoff basketball, matchups and everything involved, people can really fall out the fold and out the rotation. And it's just a player that's getting paid $20 million is not, not showing up for a team then when they need it. I think if they do have a chance, he's going to have to contribute. They're going to have the Mavericks are going to have everybody contribute for them to beat the Celtics. And the Celtics, as we know, they're 3 or die. And there's nights where they don't hit the 3. And so it's going to be an intriguing matchup. The matchups, everything involved, and I mean, there's a lot to this series, and there's also like the revenge factor I was mentioning with Kyrie, coming back to Boston. There's a lot of animosity with that. But like, what do you think about that, G? Like, what do you think about Kyrie?
Kyrie's angle to me, I mean, he wasn't there that long. He was there a couple years.
Right,
and
2
with
years.
That said, he didn't get to me the time to build up the. And I mean, I know they've had tumultuous run-ins with the fans. I understand that.
Right.
But I don't think it wasn't like it's Paul Pierce. It wasn't somebody who was there for an amount of time to build up that. So I think that story is, they tried to make that a big deal. I don't think it's as big a deal as people want to make it out to be. Because like I said, he wasn't there long enough. He was there a couple years. I know it's not enough time invested in Boston. I mean, it's not like he was some Boston draft. He wasn't drafted by Boston, played there for years, and then that happened. It was a couple years. So I think that may be an overblown story. But as for the role players and Boston's role players, Dallas's role in their defense, Boston's defense, I think, is underrated too.
Yeah,
not underrated. They are who they are, and I think that's going to show up in this series.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that aspect too. They don't get enough credit. They space the floor out well. I mean, from their guard play, which have 2 all NBA defenders, as we know from Drew Holiday, even Derek White.
Oh, right.
Derek White has really stepped up to huge lengths for this team, and he's really found his role and niche on that team. Got
a lot of bodies to throw at Luka.
Yeah, that is true, and we still don't even know. Like, even though Luka, he puts on the face of just playing, we don't know if he's. We can all kind of tell he's not 100%. Like, we can't really tell, but he is from the nagging injuries that have been listed throughout the playoffs for him. It's going to be interesting to see how he really holds up in this series. Plus, I mean, his body's not used to playing this long either. You know what I mean? Like, he's reached the Western Conference Finals before, but to play at this other level now where you have to play your exact best basketball, it's going to be a true test to him. So it's something to watch out for. But Jay, real quick, what do you think about the Porzingis angle of this?
I think he's got to shake the rust off.
Yeah.
It's the finals. I don't think you can. You can't do a minutes restriction at this point.
No.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
To your Tim Hardaway comment.
Yes.
You know what happened to him?
What happened?
PJ Washington happened.
Yeah, he kind of took his job.
Washington's a bigger, better defender, and his shot's just more consistent.
I agree. That is when you're hot, you're hot. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not going in, especially in this sport, you know where you're going.
I was saying, in these sports, in these times, playoffs too, you got to go with the hot hand. A lot of times you ride the hot hand out and just see what happens.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
Because there's the Porzingis angle, and then you have the Derek Lively angle.
That's true too.
His emergence in these playoffs has been significant. Gafford is getting a lot of credit, which he deserves.
Right.
Coming from Washington, a no-win team.
Yeah.
Terrible. He's got a little something.
Yes, he does.
But Derek Lively's emergence, the high draft pick he was, he can bother some folks.
No, for sure. It will definitely, if there's a matchup between him and Al Horford, I think that I would give the edge to Lively on that. Just, but the experience, the youth factor, but the experience factor, that could chime in too, just because, Al is out there for a reason. So
absolutely, he knows his role.
I agree.
He knew it everywhere except Philly. I got a problem.
Fucking, what a disaster that was. But to a new note though, I do want to shed light on the coaching matchup. I mean, we have Jay Kidd and we have Joe Mazzulla. So both guys, it's their first time reaching the finals as head coaches, and I don't, at the end of the day, we know the players play, coaches coach. But if there was some type of like advantage in this aspect, if you were to give an advantage in coaching, G, who do you think you might give it an advantage to?
I mean, I guess Jason Kidd has more years under his belt.
Right.
But, I mean, I guess you got to give kids some kind of edge for experience overall. But I mean, since they're both appearing at the finals at the same time for the first time,
yeah,
I got to give Kidd the benefit there, coaching wise. But I think Mazzulla's learning on the job. I mean, with the team he has,
yes,
I think he's playing the cards the way they're dealt. He's doing the best he can with what he has. So I mean, I just give Kidd just the experience, just because he's been around a little bit longer, but I think Mazzulla's done an all right job. I mean, he was getting banged on so much last year. Everybody had him out. You know what I'm saying? So for him to get to the finals this year, I'm rooting for Boston, man. Rooting for Tatum. I'd like to see them do it.
Yeah. What do you think, Jay?
I give the edge to Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
One, he's been there.
Right.
Player and
right.
coach, I believe.
True.
Milwaukee, I still try to figure out why he got fired.
Right.
I mean, there was turmoil there.
Yeah.
But the point I get to here is reverse the roles.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Dallas would be in this position with Mazzulla as the coach?
That's a good question. That's a really good take there. I mean, I think not personally, because like I think
Kidd would still be there.
I think so too. I think there is a factor to be said there, and that's a really good point there. If the roles were reversed there, I don't know if Joe Mazzulla would lead this Mavericks team to where they are. But give or take, like at the end of the day, players play, coaches coach. So like maybe it's an 80-20%.
I take nothing away from Mazzulla, but just remember that Ime Udoka kind of built this team.
I agree. Or even Brett.
Mazzulla fell into it similar a la Steve Kerr, Mark Jackson.
Yes, that's a good way to look at it. But like it was constructed by Stevens. It was constructed by Stevens. Now he went to the office, and they had Dime, and then that happened, and now we're here with Mazzulla, who's younger than Jimmy Butler, which blows my mind. But I mean,
it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. I don't know. He's a funny character at the end of the day. But like in terms of coaching, I definitely would have to give it to Kidd, just because he's been there. I mean, in terms of like IQ too, we know Jay Kidd, what he did on the court, so Hall of Fame player and everything. So all things to take into consider. If you guys had to pick an MVP at the end of this, as the dust settles and everything, who would you guys pick? I'll start with you, Jay.
Man, I'm going with Tatum, man.
Yeah, you're going with Tatum.
I'm rooting for Tatum. I'm listening to people bang on him for whatever reason. I keep trying to find ways to knock him, and I'm just hoping that he comes up big. Man, I know he's had his issues in some late postseason runs.
Right.
They try to question his clutch gene. I'm hoping so bad Tatum shows up, man. I mean, I love to play off of him and Brown. They're both capable of really taking over. I'm just hoping Tatum is the one that gets it, just because I want people to get off his back, man. I think he's a player, and I think people keep trying to find ways to bang on him. So I'm rooting for Tatum, man.
I hear you. It seems like if he gets this, he'll definitely have the monkey wrapped off his back. Like his legacy will be cemented. He'll be a legend in Boston. He won his ring. So, what about you, JC? What do you think?
I think if Boston is to win this series, it's something Glenn said earlier. Ride the hot hand. I think Jaylen Brown has the hot hand right now.
Yeah.
So I think if he continues this, okay, I can see him.
Uh-huh.
No knock against Tatum. Tatum is, all NBA. I take nothing from him.
Right.
But I got a hot one for you. If Dallas wins, I'm giving it to Kyrie.
Man,
I'm giving it to Kyrie. I think this is his coming. I think if Dallas is going to win, he's going to have to show up and show out.
I agree. I mean, with Kyrie, we all know the clutch factor. If he hits any type of shot to win a game, that's going to put him a notch. That gives him a notch. So, like, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, he's been there. He's done it. I mean, when you've been there, it definitely helps. You know what I mean? It definitely helps. You have the experience. Even, like, what they've been shedding light on with Kyrie, with this Mavs team, is they're calling him a leader. And his experience is starting to rub off on these other guys. And it looks like it's meshing and gelling very well with this team. So that's why they've been able to get to the point where they're at right now. I think, since I do think the Celtics will win in 6, I think that since, Brown won the Eastern Conference MVP, I think this is almost like the full platter for Jason Tatum to take it over in the finals and cement his legacy right here. I would just think, like, everything is there for him to take. It just depends on him if he wants to take it. And that's why there's been so much critically acclaimed stuff towards Jason Tatum and, all the hoopla and everything around him. But this is for him to take. It's there for you to take. Just take it or deal with the consequences.
Come on.
Exactly. So, all given things, I'm excited about this finals. I think it
Should
should
be
be a good
fun.
one. It should be a fun one. I think it will go back and forth a little bit, and we'll see how things turn out.
Yeah.
Awesome, no doubt.
There you go.
It should be fun next week when we call it how we see it.
Yes, we will definitely be covering this as long as it goes.
Right,
But
that's what's up.
I just want to appreciate and say thank you for you guys coming on, and
Thanks for
talk
having me, Joffey. Always a pleasure, man.
Absolutely.
JC, you know what's up.
Absolutely.
Always, man. Thank you for having us. As always,
Absolutely.
it's always fun talking sports with you guys on Wednesday nights.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Until next time. Here we go. Yep, that's right. I got Carlitos back in the house. Yes, that's right. Punch the screen. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, that's right. What up, Carlitos? Tell the world how you're doing, Carlitos.
What's up, Joffey? I'm good. Chilling. Been working hard. Working out, putting up new equipment at the man cave. Tired. Very, very long day today, Joe. But we here another day as what we call the show again? I forget. Remind me again what's the name of the show?
Call it how I see it.
Yeah. There you go. That part. So another episode of How We See It. It's your boy Carlitos, Ray World TV. Let's get it going.
Let's do it. All right, Carlitos. So we had another fight happen. As from our last episode, we wrapped up on the Usyk and Tyson Fury fight. We had some lesser heavyweights, as they are the 6th and 7th ranked heavyweight according to Ring Magazine and ESPN. And by these two fighters, I'm talking about Zheili Zhang and Deontay Wilder. And as many of us watched and spectated, we watched Deontay Wilder crumble once again to a 41-year-old Chinese boxer out of New Jersey.
Yeah.
But I got to give a lot of kudos to Zhang. He came out swinging, came out powerful and strong, looked his best. And we just, once again, we watched Deontay Wilder crumble under the big lights, under a big fight. I do want to just say a couple things that I observed from this fight. I definitely observed, Deontay Wilder's just fucking stiff, bro. He just can't, other than his right hand, Carlitos, what can Deontay Wilder do? He has it against weaker opponents and tomato cans, for essentially speaking. He just uses his reach and uses his right hand. And that's really it. He doesn't have a left hand. He's not a polished boxer. He's never been skilled. He's just always been brute force punch. And it's just, it showed here. And for him, for some stupid reason, turned his back and just got knocked out the way he deserved. So, I don't really know what else to really say about that. It speaks volumes of who he is as a fighter. And it came to light again. And he crumbled. And I personally think he's done. He's done. He's not going to get another big fight. Maybe if he fights Francis Ngannou like a clown and, that's the only thing I could ever see him getting money from. Other than that, he's done. He's 38 years old. He's done. Call it a career, buddy. What do you think, Carlitos?
Everything you said is on point. Most of the things you said, I agree with. I think Francis, whatever his name is from the UFC, he could kick Wilder's ass right now. Wilder, he's done.
Yes.
He just he was always questionable fighter. He was exciting fighter, but very questionable.
Right.
Everybody loves to see a knockout, especially in the heavyweight division.
Yes.
So that's what we had for the last 3 or 4 years with Deontay Wilder. I don't know how many years, but yeah. I already knew Big Dan was gonna kick his ass. So all the other people thinking, this is gonna be Wilder's comeback, with the bomb squad, all that bullshit. Nah, it's not happening. You can't make any excuses now for Deontay Wilder because he's been exposed multiple times. He's been on a 5-L streak, 5 losing streak, bad because he got knocked out. I think his last fight. It's just not he's done. He's done.
I agree with you 1,000%. I
like Big Bang. He's my guy. I liked him. I watched his last fight. I think it was close.
Yes.
But I really do like this guy. He's very strong.
He's skilled.
He kicks it.
He's skilled.
Yeah, he's very skilled.
From what I saw, even though it was a short bout, we saw the southpaw of Wilder versus the orthodox style of Zhang, and from what I saw, it looked like Zhang was able to use his left straight and his left hook on Wilder, and he almost baited Wilder because he knew the right hand was going to come eventually. So when he put that straight towards Wilder and he countered it with his left hook and punched Wilder in the nose to start this whole reaction where he thought it was a cheap shot or something, looking at the ref like an idiot, and then fucking knocked him out. So it was good because you saw the skill showcase against the non-skill, and
Okay.
It just looked bad, and like I said, man, this guy's done. I don't think we're ever gonna be talking about him again. This 98% KO rate of all time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you're knocking out tomato cans. It really doesn't. So, bye Deontay Wilder. You had a good run. You made your money. See you later.
Yeah, Wilder, he could have been a great fighter, or
He was just never a championship fighter, Carlitos. He was.
Yeah.
He wanted to be that. His head got big.
Yeah, it's just, he got the bronze and shit in the Olympics, but like, I think he just has like an ego problem. He's not like disciplined or something like that. It's not even that. It's just like his trainers are like, yes, man. You should see like some of his shit he be doing. Like, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, is this real? Like, is this real? And he's like serious too. He's
Right.
like really with his training.
It's like no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then like some of these trainers, just like you don't never heard of them. I don't know. I really haven't gone too deep. But most of the trainers, I mean, he has a new girlfriend and shit now. That's personal, but like, some shit like money comes, money goes, and shit happens, and it's just downhill. It's just that's it. Just stop.
Yeah.
Before it gets worse.
I think it only could get worse for him, honestly. Especially if he was to take a bout with Francis Ngannou and he was lose that too. He'd just be a laughing stock, honestly. He's already become a laughing stock.
He's not even a stepping stone anymore. After that big bang, like any prospect thinking after kicking Wilder's ass or knocking him out is gonna take you to the top. It's not, because it's what's expected. So.
Right. You'd almost be a lose-lose situation. The only person that could benefit it.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty risky. Yeah, it's like you call it high risk, low reward.
Yes.
I
agree. I mean, the risk would not be worth the reward fighting Deontay Wilder. So, I mean, given all that, I think we can finally stick a fork in his career, and we don't need to talk about this guy anymore.
Okay. Well, we had another topic, right?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And I was just about to bring that to light. And that topic is the next fight that a lot of people were putting their attention towards, which is now postponed. And that fight I am talking about is the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. Yes, I know. So, as many have come aware of, we have come aware that this fight was postponed. It was scheduled to happen on July 20th on Netflix in AT&T Stadium, big stage. And now we have to wait because of an ulcer. And I am someone who has dealt with an ulcer in the past. It has healed, but it does take time to heal. And Mike Tyson's situation as a 57-year-old man, I can only imagine that this will only take longer to heal, as his training resume has been cut short by doctor's orders, and he can't really train the way he was. Although Mike Tyson was claiming that he's in the best shape of his life, and he still claims that when he is ready, he is going to knock out Jake Paul and end his career. So, given everything that's thrown at us that's happened in this fight, Carlitos, what do you think moving forward is going to happen now?
I don't know, but I don't even want to see this fight. It's just not like, why don't they just substitute somebody else, forget about Mike Tyson, keep the same fight date? Like, come on, this fight is like ridiculous. It's like cool, I guess. It's like, what is it, a wild card?
Yeah.
A wild card fight, you know what I'm saying? It's like some shit if they had the Undisputed game, if that shit came out, it's just some random crap, like you just mess around. It's just not a fight I take seriously. Jake Paul, isn't it Jake Paul, right?
Yes.
Jake Paul needs to, I like Jake Paul, though. I like Jake Paul. I like to see him fight somebody his age or fight another UFC fighter. I don't give a fuck. But, Mike Tyson, come on, he's 50. Come on, he's old. Come on, what do you get out of, a payday, I guess, but what do you get out of, beating Mike Tyson?
There's a lot of hysteria. It's a money grab.
Knock this kid out. I don't really see that happening. So,
it'd be a tough...
I'm still... Yeah.
No, I was going to let you... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
I mean, given everything that's happening with this fight, it almost could be a total sham. It could almost be something that was just an attention grab or something to help promote Jake Paul's MVP promotions or try to, I don't know. I'm still trying to feel this out. It's still a lot of dust that needs to settle so we can really understand what's going to happen. Or unless they really step in the ring, then that's what really will show and come to light. But overall, I mean, like we spoke about in previous episodes, I mean, we think the youth factor will definitely take in control here, and especially with this medical issue, God forbid he hits him in the spot where he was trying to recover from with this ulcer. It could be very dangerous for Mike Tyson. It might not even be the best idea to even step in the ring right now.
They have the pictures on TMZ have Mike Tyson looking crazy in a wheelchair and shit. Come on, man. Jake, come on, have a heart. Come on.
Exactly. I mean, Jake Paul even had comments saying he'll wait however long just to fight Mike Tyson, just so Mike Tyson doesn't have any excuses after they fight. That's his words. We shall see. But overall, I think Carlitos. I think this is kind of. I could see this just being a sham. Honestly, I could see it. I don't want to say that. I mean, for them to they kind of should forget about it and maybe just like you said and recommended that they just fight somebody else. I know that Logan Paul kind of had a comment saying he would fight his brother. I don't know how much that would really grab.
That's the thing. you can't just throw anyone. You know, if there's a Netflix and it's a lot of money put into this fight.
Right.
But so you throw some random person. I mean, I get his brother because his brother's like really like, you know, has like millions of views and what do you call it, wrestling.
Right.
All this, you know, the Prime. It's stupid. You know, me fighting my brother, it's fucking retarded. But like, I mean, at the same time, I guess it makes sense. But like, I don't want to see that shit too. I don't want to see that shit, man.
I know.
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. But. Fight fucking Vince McMahon or some shit.
Honestly, I think if Jake Paul should fight anybody, you should fight Tommy Fury again.
You know, I was just thinking that too.
Like, why not?
Is that like Netflix money material?
I think anything. I think if you were to throw anything on Netflix, because Netflix is trying to dive into the sports factor of things now, I think it would sell. I do.
True. Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
With them buying WWE and, you know, having the rights to this fight as well, I think, you know, they're definitely. I think if you just put anything out there, it will sell and people will watch, just because Netflix has that type of platform. But, you know, I definitely think that Netflix might even push the issue to have this fight happen, even if Mike Tyson pulls out in a wheelchair, just because of the money involved and everything and the names and everything. But I don't know. Personally, total sham. I think they're up to something, and we'll see down the line if this really happens or not. So
they're
always up to something. That's the boxing game, Carlitos. Promotions, everybody behind the scenes, they're always up to something. It's been like that since the beginning of boxing. So
exactly.
We shall see. But Carlitos, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you dropping your knowledge, freestyling, throwing your fist in the air. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. I'm glad to be on your show. I love being on the show. I love talking about boxing. So let me just cut this shit short. It's your boy Carlitos Made World TV. I'm out. It's time to go. It's time to take some rest. On to the next. I see you, Joffey. Enjoy. Peace.
Peace out, man. Here we go. And yes, he's back. He's doing double duty this week. That's right. But for a good reason. For a good reason. Because we are here and we're going to talk about something that we haven't talked about on this show. And that is UFC. And we had a big banger of a card, didn't we, JC? This was a good card.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very excited. Had the date circled. I was almost ready to buy tickets.
Yeah, it was quite the card, from having everybody include, like, from the main event, having Poirier and Islam, having Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa, and, you know, everything else in between. Like, you know, we saw Ronnie Brown, right? Ronnie Brown beat Dos Santos by unanimous decision. We had Nico Price beating Alex Morrow by unanimous decision.
That was a great fight.
It was. There's a lot of bangers, bro. They were going back and forth. Even having Kevin Holland, you know, having a first round stoppage by our good man Herb Dean.
He frustrates me so much.
Who's that?
Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
It shows me, it's fights like that that show me how good he can be.
Right.
When he's not playing around.
No, I agree. Like, you see his full technical skills come out when fights like that happen, especially when
his arm was not looking good.
No, it wasn't.
His partner wasn't looking like something I need to be used. No.
It's a good thing they had the man, the myth, the legend, Herb Dean there, just to stop everything. I mean, dude.
Premature Dean.
Yeah, premature Dean. There you go. He still had.
Not for that fight.
Nah, he jumped in when he needed to. He did his thing. He stopped it right when it needed to. So, I did want to dive into the co-main event, which I brought up. You know, Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa, which came down to a split decision. You know, from what I observed from watching everything, it looked like, you know, everything started off in favor of Costa. You know, started kicking him with the low kicks, got some body shots on him with the kicks. Then it seemed like, you know, Sean Strickland was able to get in rhythm and started getting to the point where Costa was on the defense and had no answer really for Sean Strickland. It looked like Sean Strickland took command and became the aggressor for most of the part. But there was also moments where, you know, Paulo started coming back, had his moments, and, you know, made things closer than a lot of the experts expected. At the end of the day, though, you know, Sean Strickland was able to pull off the win. And I think a win like that against Paulo Costa puts Sean Strickland in a spot where he's still in a good position. He's a former champion, as we know. And in that division, in the middleweight division, I think he slotted himself into another possible main event or co-main event later on down the year as things progress. I mean, we'll see how other dominoes start to fall. But what do you take from this fight?
I think Sean Strickland did what Sean Strickland does.
Right.
You know, he's not a fast starter.
No.
He's an awkward fighter for MMA. You see how often he made Adesanya look off.
Yes.
Not that Adesanya is an all-time great. He made him look off that day.
Right.
The thing about this fight is also Costa had his moments, yes, but he has not been the same fighter since the Yoel Romero fight and since the Adesanya fight. He's a little gun shy, and that man cannot fight off his back foot.
No.
Sean Strickland did end up taking he did end up taking control.
Right.
Because he gets in that little Philly shell looking thing, and he will jab you to death.
Yes.
But he showed a different dimension this weekend. He showed kicks.
Yes.
I don't see them from Strickland.
No,
I think it surprised Costa a little bit.
I agree too. I don't think that Costa saw that coming out of Sean Strickland's bag, especially after the way he started the fight.
I
And
didn't
then
even know he had it in his bag.
I agree. Like a lot of people, that's a good point to point out there because I didn't really like recognize that until you just pointed that out. Because I was like, he was starting to kick him when you really think about it.
One of them, he knocked him back. I was like,
Yes.
wait a minute.
He caught him off guard a lot with that, and it definitely helped propel him and keep him in rhythm into taking total control of the fight, which he did. Like he's a polished fighter. He's been around, like we were saying, like from his fights with Adesanya and other people. It's just like he's been there. He's been in the main event. He's well known and he's well respected. And then like a win like this, definitely puts him back where he needs to be in terms of contention. I don't think the story of Sean Strickland is over yet. I think he can still garnish a lot in that division.
I think that was basically where I see Sean Strickland going is it's either he's going to get if they make the Duplessis Adesanya title fight for August, like the rumors are saying, I believe he gets the winner of that. Or there's also a fight later this month that has my attention.
And which fight is
Robert Whittaker against Khamzat Chimaev.
Okay. Yes, that's a big one there.
That is interesting.
That's going to have a lot of fireworks.
If you don't give Sean Strickland his credit because he doesn't have the typical look of a championship fighter.
Right.
He's very outspoken, politically outspoken.
Yes, we know.
Guess what? The boy can fight. When it comes down to putting the gloves on, closing the door, and fighting, the guy has proven multiple times he can do it.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
last time I've seen him actually get beat up is when Pereira knocked him into next year.
Yeah.
But you see the legend of Alex Pereira right now.
Yeah, he's almost unstoppable.
As of right now, absolutely.
So, speaking of unstoppable, I want to talk about the light heavyweight champion of the world retaining his belt once again.
Lightweight.
Lightweight, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Me. I did mean to say
light heavyweight is Pereira.
Exactly. Excuse me. I did mean lightweight, and I do mean, and I'm talking about Islam. Islam, coming from the Khabib camp, which there's a bunch of trained killers. Honestly, I mean,
Trained bear wrestlers.
they're dude, like, since they're little, we've seen the videos of Khabib and these other guys wrestling bears, and even like we can go down the list of who's really in that camp, and then like who's really fucking causing a lot of damage, from Islam to Zabera to Gir, even Khabib's cousins are in there. You got Bilal, Muhammad.
If your name ends in a Magomedov or Chev, anything.
Yes, they're all just trained killers, bro. Like, honestly, it's just
They're so laser focused over there.
yes. That's the biggest main thing that I pick up from them is just their focus. They know, they stick to their game plan. They know what they have to do. They're gonna wear you out, and then and if it comes down to squaring up, they'll square up with you too after they wear you down. And that's one thing I took from this fight. We all saw Islam end up using the submission hold, the Darcia choke, to end up finish. Yeah, it went from a guillotine. Went from the guillotine. Well, I'll break it down, but we saw how it ended, and we'll get to how it did end. We'll get to the points leading up to that. But overall, in that first round, we saw Islam just wrestle him down, and we expected that. But actually, I'll give Poirier a lot of credit though. Like, he did very well defensively against Islam. Like, he held off as long as he could, and later on in the fifth round, he started stumbling a little bit, where he was able to catch him and put him into the guillotine, and then eventually the Darcia choke. But overall, it was a really that's why we love Dustin.
He's a dog.
He is a dog. He is, and I don't think you could be more prepared for the fight against Islam, than he was. Just in terms of grappling and everything, in terms of defense, even being able to scrap and just have a competitive fight. It got bloody, bro. It got bloody, and it was a lot, and that's something that we don't see with Islam in his fights. We haven't seen him bleed. We haven't, it was a bloodbath, honestly, and it really turned out to be a great fight. But in that fifth round, that's when the table started to turn after Islam started connecting, and he made Poirier stumble, and then that's when he got him in the guillotine and then put him in the Darcia choke and finished it. But it just goes to credit to him sticking to his game plan, and then his camp just being razor sharp focused, like you were saying.
Yep.
What's your biggest takeaway from everything?
The biggest takeaway, because I followed this fight since the day it got announced.
Yes.
Dustin Poirier was, as you said, as prepared as he could get.
Yeah.
He brought in a member of his team, Martis Gormat from Poland.
Yes.
And that got him as prepared for the wrestling as he could be, because legend says that Gormat would give Islam trouble if it was just a straight grappling match.
Right.
So I believe he used he left no stone unturned. I mean, to be completely honest, my heart said bet Dustin, but my mind said, Islam is Islam.
Exactly.
But Islam is a different kind of cat. Like he's not the same guy, the same fighter Khabib is.
No.
The reason he got cut up is because he will take chances where Khabib will not.
Yes.
He will take chances. I think Poirier, man, I hate to see the fact that potentially that could have been it, but he has proven everything else in the sport.
Exactly. Like, what else do you need to prove other than winning a belt? Obviously, like we were saying, like might be the best, one of the best that hasn't won has the chance to hold a title. But like, I there's a lot of respect from him universally in that sport, and he's really left everything all on the line there. Like I don't know what else he could really prove.
There's so many fun fights for him though.
Yeah.
Just the other day, Volkanovski called him out. Now tell me where that wouldn't be fun.
It would, but I mean, he's also on the, like, I hate to say it, it'd be like two fighters on the down, but like that could also inspire one fighter to really come back. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Islam, man, there is one guy in that division that he has unfinished. I know he wants to be a double champ, but he has unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
That man's name is Arman Sarkisian or something.
Okay.
Sarkisian.
Yes.
They fought before.
Right.
But Arman took that fight on 10 days notice and gave Islam fits.
Yes.
With a full camp, it's unknown. But
it is
like
unknown.
I said, people know Dustin Poirier for his striking.
Right.
He was outstruck in every round except the fourth.
Right.
He was outstruck.
Right.
The fifth round, the reason you saw that guillotine is because Islam wanted to take Dustin out with his own move.
Right. That is, yeah. It stumbled him.
Right. But that leg move he did to get him down there at the end, I don't know what it's called. It was pretty though.
Yeah. It's, that's part of the camp. They got their secret moves, man. But, he is a champion. He has the sense, the skill set, even the mindset of being a champion. I mean, like, honestly, we can honestly look at Islam as the pound-for-pound best fighter in the UFC, I would say.
Did you catch the post-fight interview?
No, I did not.
They were discussing with Dana White, who is the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, best fighter in the world.
Okay.
Islam's name, you have to throw it out there.
Yes, I agree.
But then Dana White rebuffed at that and said, no, John Jones is the clear-cut number one best fighter in the world. If there's anybody not named John Jones ahead of Islam, I disagree. I agree it's John Jones. I mean, as much trouble as that man starts, it doesn't matter how long he's out. Clearly, he just missed 3 years.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Back and just walked through the heavyweight division. Walked up the heavyweight and dominated the guy.
His run is impeccable, and he is going to go down as the best fighter in UFC history. But I mean, in a sport, in other sports, it's always what have you done for me lately? And
exactly. I understand. Anybody that says Islam, I would never argue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of, like, what's really going on right now in that sport, and, like, because this guy, ever since, like, November 2023, it's just been consistent. And he's also riding a 14-fight win streak, and he has 3 successful, after this past weekend, he has 3 successful title defenses, which in that weight class, in that division, is not very easy. It's, he tied, I think, for right now, with those 3 title defenses, that puts him tied for 4th all time, and, he's still going. And I also believe if he wins 2 more bouts, he'll tie Anderson Silva for most consecutive victories in the UFC. So there's a lot riding with, Islam here and everyone in that camp. So it's really interesting to see. And Dana White is just loving it, bro. He is.
You have to. When you realize you're not getting Khabib out of retirement.
No.
Conor McGregor's future is as cloudy as it's ever been.
Yeah, especially with what's going on now. That fight might not even happen.
Islam has earned that right, where if he wants to fight Conor McGregor for money, you have to let him.
Yeah, but I think
Conor's got to win. He has to win one first, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they're trying to do. But like, he hasn't fought since. He's another guy that hasn't fought in 3 years. So it's just like, what's he gonna do? And then like his last showcase wasn't impressive at all. So like, yes,
I think he's gonna do. It's bad because Conor McGregor is not John Jones.
No, he's not.
And I think Michael Chandler has the potential.
I think he's gonna beat him.
If he escapes the McGregor blitz in the first round and a half, it's over.
It is over because he's the more. I think right now he's the more well-polished fighter. I don't know in the last time he fought, but I would have to give the advantage to Chandler, honestly.
Chandler's last fight, I think, was Poirier in November 2023 at the Garden.
Okay. That's
when Poirier kind of exposed him. Like, hey, Poirier backs McGregor in that fight because he's like, Chandler's reckless when he runs in.
Right.
And if Conor is at least a little bit of what he was, which is a sniper, all he's going to do is going to catch Chandler, and that chin has been tested too many times.
Yeah.
Between Bellator and the UFC, it's been tested too many times.
Yeah.
He ain't holding like he used to.
Right.
He's more entertainment fight now than serious contender.
That's just
but
what
I
it
think
is.
Chandler has enough to beat McGregor.
I do too, and I do think if they do square up at the end of the month, I think that Chandler's going to beat McGregor. That's just my opinion, but we'll see.
Stop playing around with that too.
I know. I mean, with the press conference and everything that happened there, the whole fiasco, it's going to be interesting to see. But
Ariel Helwani did sell us today.
yeah,
Like still on us right now.
for now, but we'll see, because you never know with Conor McGregor. But I appreciate you talking some UFC with me. I like this idea.
Brother.
I hope it's something we can do more of in the future, and
Absolutely.
I appreciate you doing the double duty, Jay. I do.
Anytime, brother.
You enjoy your night, all right?
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Until next time.